This fill in the blank question is asking us about whether plants are a blank factor in an ecosystem. So again, we're looking at a blank that is preceding the word factor. And so our most common answer choices are going to be abiotic or biotic. But let's look at all of our answer choices. So we're looking at whether or not plants are a blank factor in an ecosystem. Well, they can't be an ecosystem factor in an ecosystem. That doesn't make sense. Plants are a resource factor in an ecosystem. That could be true. Certain animals would eat plants, and so therefore they could be food, a food factor in an ecosystem. But you have to think about whether or not we've ever used that terminology before. Have we ever said the word a food factor or a resource factor? The answer is no. When on our vocab and during class, every time we talked about a factor, it was always a biotic or abiotic factor, not an organism factor, not a relationship factor, not a population factor, not an omnivore factor or a dependent or independent factor, always a biotic or abiotic factor. So now we just need to determine whether or not the plant is biotic or abiotic. So we have to ask ourselves whether plants are alive or not. Plants absolutely eat food. The food they eat comes from sunlight and also nutrients in the soil. They do breathe air. They need CO2 to be able to grow. They do drink water using their roots. They do have shelter. They need shelter from, or they seek shelter in the soil. And some plants need shelter from having too much sun. And then they also mate. Plants do, in fact, mate. So it is definitely alive. So our correct answer is plants are a biotic factor in an ecosystem.